Lauren.
We do, and of course we've seen the Viper as well. Definitely caught the attention of the desk, so no need to linger on it, because we are into the game. And Sentinels on the attacking side, the returning Reykjavik champions, looking hot to trot. And G2, the unlikely boys who are going to have to prove something monstrous here. Awaken the beast that has truly been just sealed away. Got to see what they can bring. Round one already started up. Sentinels having a look towards that A side.
Actually, straight away, the wall in place to prevent that cross into heaven. At least have to give some information away. Nuki going to be called upon here with the frenzy. Actually ignores the dash, but 10 still finds the opening. Sentinels trying to carve their way into A site right now, and Mixwell left to do nothing but sit inside screens. Now the poison orb going to go up, and that's going to potentially give a lot more control over to Sentinels as the spike is planted.
Let's see how much ground they can get. It's like the springboard back in. Shazam does not care for it. He's leaning forward, catches the CT push from Mixwell as Dapper looking towards that playback through from the T side, that flank that will be coming in. We saw it slowly building with a Vova over that side, but he's got support, he's got Kellogg's here as well. But Sentinels, boys, they're a little different. They just don't miss. This is clean. The only one to draw blood so far is a Vova. That's 2. But there's an army in the way. This isn't going to happen. 8 HP. The dream's dead. Tens has got it. That's the first. Sentinels pick up where they left off.
Actually, G2, in my eyes, the correct formation to deal with that, right? The only problem being Nuki kind of stuck there. Once that execution comes through, being on the raids, there's no real get out of jail free card right there. It's a one and done, and he didn't deliver on that front. So Sentinel's able to capitalize on that opening fairly easily. See if G2 throw anything into it. It's going to be Kellogg's with a Sheriff, but other than that, nothing across the board. See if they stack up and try and get a little bit aggro. I'm looking at 4 players actually towards A, but Spike leaning B side, and there's 2 members outside garage here. So Coldamenta going to be called upon here, or at least Tommy Turret. We'll give that information away. Tens and sick. Information gun on the back of it. They will retrieve the orb. But elsewhere, again, there's 2 players creeping through mid as well.
Yeah, that's been catching my eye. And look at all the attention G2's putting it this way. They're about to get crunched on this. Poor Coldamenta. Very unfavorable scenario for him as Sentinels. Lovely start, very clean, and I want to see how they fare in these anti-ecos, I guess you could say. I mean, we have a Shorty and a Sheriff, not much else. This should be 5 alive. If you're looking at Sentinels as expectations, I mean, most of us, if we're being reasonable, probably chose between maybe Gambit, if you're more of an EMEA fan, NA, looking at Sentinels here, and if you're a bit weird like me, I go 100 Thieves. But these boys are the real deal. And as you can see, so far 5 standing, and Kellogg's is your last one there.
Spike planted.
Not going to get any bonuses there at all. Prime Gaming flawless, 2nd round. Sentinels looking sharp, and this isn't a surprise to us yet. This is going par for the course.
Absolutely, and again, nothing really, gained by D2 in terms of how these first 2 rounds have played out. I think actually Sentinels are going to look to obviously capitalize on this, the SMGs here, maybe stack up for a full-on site here early on. G2 going to be called upon very early in this round. Again, I don't want to see them lean too heavily forward. This time looks like spread pretty thin. It's only Mixwell at the minute towards screens on A. It's double stack towards B tower actually, with a Vova down towards garage. But Sentinel spread across as well. Kellogg's going to be called upon in mid here.
Okay, gets out. Might play Nuki a little. Didn't quite get the pickup he wanted, and damage not quite being done until then. Coldamenta going to draw blood over by Mailroom, and they are actually greeting the challenge in towards middle, keeping them just at arm's length, maybe just far enough for those rifles to ring through. But bear in mind, statistically speaking, and just by every account statistically, and any way you want to look at this, G2 should be able to convert this round, but those SMGs, when brought up nice and close, if they can keep pressuring mid, can still do damage. Now, again, this pressure is between Nuki and Kellogg's.
Kellogg's actually backed all the way away from this, and Six still forcing his way in here. Actually getting way closer. Vova has to be called upon for a gravity well there. And Sentinels closing the distance here. It's going to be really difficult. Kellogg's down to 2 HP.
Yeah, this is good though. Nice aim from him, but now he's under severe scrutiny. He's going to be eventually found. Vova's got his back though, and this is good trading. Dapper, great work. Big damage. Wants to pressure CT. Why not get in there? Get in their faces! Nuki, he's got it. And there's one back, as they needed to stop the rot. You don't want to see that bonus round being converted. That's when a spiral could occur.
Yeah, again, one more weapon there. I'm a little more concerned for G2, but majority stand. Sentinels forced to reinvest. Yeah, it's interesting to see, again, that slow kind of progression through mid, again, trying to cut down the distance, make the most of those SMGs.
Turret out.
G2 well positioned to handle that, though. Again, Sentinels, this time actually, 3 members over towards A main. Again, Mixwell the only one on A site for G2. Very careful here. Again, the Viper wall up. Sick actually opens up straight away onto Kellogg's.
Look, you can get away with that against others, but the aim on the Sentinel side is just unrelenting. Mixwell's going to have to deal with this as well now. Ten's on the other side. He knows what's around that corner, but he's got Nookie by his side, so it's not so bad just yet. Actually, even gets to back away. Lovely utility work, but does he dare double down? Nookie wants it, sticks around for it. This isn't bad, but this is still such a bloody battle as Sick wins that final fight, and now suddenly the site is open, ready for the taking of 3v2. And there's going to be the ult to just allow that ferrying of the spike across safely.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a comfortable plant inside the Viper's pit. Over and Cold Amenta. Really, really difficult for them to break through here, especially with the Zombs positioned so deep. Actually gives them a pocket just behind on site, really, to play from. The wall as well across elbow. This is a tough retake for them.
Oh, you think about the utility that's just been flooded in. They can just sit the time ticking so favorably towards Sentinels. Vova shows where he is now. Pulls attention, but shows that he's also off it. Dips away, but that allows Cold Amenta. Finds a bit of space towards Dapper, but bear in mind there is one player who is the safety net, but that is going to be Zoms. Has to give away position, but he will get a Vova. That's exactly what the Doctor ordered. As Zoms, the swishest safety net so far.
Actually, investment of the ultimate there as well. Very, very late into that. It's just desperation to maybe create some pocket of safety on site to get a defuse through, but without the half at that point. This is a problem the first time. Like I said, Sentinel stacking 3 up here, so kind of Nookie coming across to rotate. Mixwell obviously put in grave danger behind the wall. Again, if they can stack up like this, I think Sentinels really, time and time again, can condition G2 to lean a couple of players towards there. And look at it now, on the back of that previous round, they've got Kellogg's there, Cold Amenta switched up, Mixwell now again looking for control around the orb. So Nookie put in a position where he'll have a lot of pressure if he tries to even stop this cross into Mail.
This round again, G2 have a couple of bits and pieces. Mixwell and Nookie getting the Spectres, a couple of Sheriffs to supplement, but it's very light in comparison, of course, to Sentinels, who are sitting quite flush. Shaz on the Spectre, the rest all locked and loaded, but maybe feeling out what they're coming up against. No real rush on this one yet. Yes, the wall's invested, and Ten's showing a little leg, but it's not too much to worry about just yet. 58 seconds, and there's the first contact. Sick with a comfortable opening, looking like they want to get towards B now. Take that space that's been given and allow Tens that freedom to roam a little further forward, clear the site, and you can already see those defensive lines are starting to build up around this site.
Dapper, good awareness by Kellogg's, at least of the possibility. Cold Amenta actually good for the trade. One weapon retrieved at least in mid, but how much more they can do in this round. Sentinels with a man advantage, and it's tough to break through here with 2 SMGs. Cold Amenta can even get out of that smoke, actually. Sick. For a moment, glanced away, and actually Cold Amenta finds one.
Yeah, but it's instantly traded. That's the beauty there of Tens coming around. But it is going to be found again by Nookie, so there's a bit of a back and forth here, but Mixwell just saying get out for it as Tens is just locked in the back of the site, and Zoms is the one to shut it out. This is comfortable from Sentinels. Yes, a couple of kills here and there, but I'm looking at rounds now. This is not a comfy map for G2. If you looked statistically, sure, you may look at it on first glance and go, oh, that's okay. But think outside that one game they played recently, it's all been relatively far in the past. This has not been a map that they sit on, so this is a gorgeous take. On your screen.
Let's go.
They're feeling themselves. They're pumped up, and why not? This is the first step on the stage for them. They have to reclaim that reputation that obviously followed them off the back of Reykjavik. They're the #1. And again, I've not seen a team look so comfortable with the target on their back as they do.
Shazam actually going to pop. Play Storm up the rip here. Kellogg's actually with the operator online. He's going towards B main here. Nookie invests the showstopper, but nothing on the other side of it. That's a lot of utility getting sent out here by Nookie just to try and slow down this push or try and regain some control.
Nice.
Actually, Tens will find 2 there. Tens and Zoms full.
Yeah, that's so well done by Nookie. Finally taking a little bit of, I guess, proactive play towards middle, even though he's been pretty much dictated to by that man. Even just the audio cue forced his hand earlier on, and now Shazam is not done yet. He still has to do some more, because Dapper just got caught off trying to play up towards A. Can Shaz do something miraculous here? Knives out. It's time to go. Has to find the player just around that corner. He knows what he's got to do. And no, it's not worked out well. Cold Amenta, lovely, lovely play there. Very calm and collected.
The problem here, again, Dapper, we've seen him in another situation. Cold Amenta this time around waiting there. Obviously, anticipating that lurk. That's going to be the big problem for G2. If they can actually spread thin enough where they can greet this presence in mid, they can maintain control and look to Kellogg's on the operator to do that towards B garage at least. But Dapper is going to be a constant threat throughout this half. And actually, Sentinels now. Sheriff's across the border. Stinger. On the side of Dapper.
We went real Australian on that. Stinger.
Stinger.
Bit sharky.
Bit sharky out here today.
But we'll see what it looks like. This is a... I mean, we've got 4 sheriffs, so a little bit of a Shiko here. Yeah, maybe they can punish these closer angles, but G2 well aware, of course, of the economy, maybe not the Stinger, so going to have to respect that. And it's a little deeper, make it hard work. The Sentinels do at least get a little bit of ground gain towards that A site, but Coldamenta still just happy to sit back, spam away. Not too many worries just yet. How much room is Shaz going to be given here? That's what makes me nervous.
This is what I'm talking about. Kellogg's being in position with the operator to greet kind of the other side of this play. And that's on the back of that contact on A, right? So absolutely can't fault Zoms for trying to find something in there, but that's what I'm looking for G2, is remaining composed, keeping that structure and formation on the defensive half.
They could overwhelm here so easily, though. Yeah, there it is. That's the problem. There it is, TenZ!
Oh, my word.
Welcome to NA Valorant, boys. It hits different out here. That's an op now gone. They've got the site to themselves. Keep in mind, Shaz was holding that rotation, too. They're going to be so aware of where people are. Shaz can now get that spike plant. They're going to be getting the res back up. It's all 5 standing now against 3. And this is just panic stations galore. Look at this play coming out. Dapper is just a rock for this side. And you had no right getting this round, but it looks like it's theirs. Unless Coldamenta wants to clutch this one out. A 1v3 now presented. And he's got to get this done, but it ain't easy. And it's not going to happen. Dapper and Sentinels. What a way to turn it around.
And this is the problem. You talk about the composure for G2. You give Sentinels an inch, they will take a mile. And that was just systematically breaking down the weaker sides of G2's defense. And TenZ in perfect position to punish Kellogg's there. It's just insane to watch that. And that's the thing, as soon as those weapons come through, even with the lockdown.
I love this. Look at it, look at it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, shout out to cameraman, whichever one called. They're like, okay, fine.
We're going to get some good B-roll today.
Yeah, no, we are.
To, yeah.
Find the one yelling, find the one real sad. There it is, gorgeous. We do have a timeout. And that's going to be a tilter as well. That's a round where you're like, okay, well, they've got a Stinger, a couple of Sheriffs. Okay, we'll just play this pretty chill, sit back, sit deep. Maybe don't ego challenge people like TenZ, don't just sit on angle.
Not usually advisable, no.
There's like a safety, warning on it, like, do not do this, you know what I mean? Like, again, I think something that we talked about throughout, the regular season leading into this was the mechanical ability of some of the North American players. It does push pretty high, and they are able to bring that out whenever required, and I think we're seeing a little taste of it here. I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened to other teams. This is not a stronghold for G2, if we're going to be sensible about this, which I'm sure chat and everyone at home watching are being sensible, right? We're not,
obviously. We're
not overly getting into it, right? We wouldn't lean into that. No.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Could be us.
Could not be us. But no, again, I think this is going to be a stark awakening for G2 here. And maybe it's going to be hard to bound back. Again, this is a map that I will say should go to Sentinels. So again, how do they then fire it back up without getting a little down in the dumps? Because you can see it, they're out of their chairs. They are happy to get in their heads.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key thing here is we're really, yes, they were tested the other day versus F4Q, but G2 now have to prove to us that they're able to innovate and adapt on the fly, because Sentinels are one of the quickest to pivot one way or the other. And again, all credit to Shazam on that front in terms of the in-game leadership, but take a look at this round now. Sentinels much slower in approach. 3 over towards A main here. Spike sat comfortably with Zoms and Kellogg's with the Blade Storm, actually. Not given anything. Sentinels are anticipating. G2 pushing forward, making the most of this lesser purchase, but Kellogg's will be forced back now. Shazam creeping ever closer towards Nuki. Might get caught there, actually. Damn, a rare miss from him.
Well, uncharacteristic, but TenZ has still been let off the leash. Shaz still watching for that reaggress, catches it too. Nuki. Sentinels are just too aware of this, and TenZ has folded Coldamenta comfortably. This is looking like they're trying to find those little gaps in the approach, and they're just not being presented. Shazam's like, well, I've seen what you're up to, I get the idea, but it's not happening here, boys. A 4v1 of Over and a Spectre.
I mean, I've over
30
no
seconds
real
left.
option but to try and
Spike
find an
planted.
exit here, but expect Sentinels to be in place to greet him wherever he decides to show his face. Not even really tested on the way in there. And again, this is the immediate response based on Kellogg's obviously creeping a little further down mid. That information is relayed by Zoms, and right away they're positioned. See if Rover will find 10 tier and an upgrade for himself, but
But look
Sentinels
at it.
will probably want to remove this from him.
I don't know how strong the economy is right now for Sentinels. I didn't actually take note of that. So I wonder how much they're willing to chase this down and get it out of his hands. I see 2 of them already exiting, getting far away, so they should be safe enough. Maybe just leaving 1 to chase. And actually, Evova's just fine. So yeah, no real threats beyond that. Rifle should be kept on either side. Yeah, so Op still in play for Shaz as well. So Zoms and Shaz keeping hold of that so they can at least keep that economy nice and healthy, kind of filtering that back through. And G2, well, clutching at straws here. A bit of a shocker for Mixwell as a start. Not normally something we often say or see. He's normally a bit of a rock for the side, bit of that safe pair of hands, but he's been a little absent thus far.
Yeah, and the thing I want to see from G2 here is them become a little more decisive, a little more proactive with some of this early territory control, because A-main's effectively being given up right now, and Sentinels are able to sit there. And the problem with Dapper doing this wall every single round, sitting behind it, there's that constant paranoia builds of how many people are stacked up behind that.
Okay, let's see how brave you're going to get, because we've seen the difference of when Kellogg's is having a good performance too, something that he's not had a chance to yet, really. Nuki's been doing quite nicely at holding through here, but this time he's got Shaz working up with the op. Oh, this is bursty as well. Hold on, this is going to be real pacey. 10s, man. Who needs any further flashes when you've got him and that Lear? Sick has his back, but it's over to isolate the first. Capitalized on the second, and it ain't over yet. G2 still holding strong, but Shazam is the only one to find success, and that's in middle. So now look what remains. Shazam and Dapper. And if G2, if you fumble this one, you're going to be in the bin for it. But Dapper's going to take the time to maybe investigate a little deeper. Say, Shaz, hold on, give me a sec. I'm a work. Let me get some work done. Because keep in mind, I don't think Kellogg's is going to be considering this for a second or two. There's going to be that internal clock. Wow, he's actually already thinking about it. Dapper. Yeah, well done, Kellogg's. Great decision-making there. And
wow.
G2 actually hold it down. I saw a world there where Sentinels were about to slice them apart.
I think, again, Dapper going a little deeper than he maybe should have. I'd love to play with the Viper's Pit, throw down a little distraction on site, try and find that kill within spawn, but at the point you're walking towards stairs, you got to think maybe there's a possibility they're tucked in there, trying to maintain this spike control. But just coming back to this Kellogg's point, we talk about the composition here, and the other day what we called into question was kind of that support system behind Kellogg's, right? How do we enable him? How do we get him online? And this here, I mean, what does he have? It's the operator. It's almost kind of this. He has to be self-sufficient.
I want to see if he gets punished this time, because he's been going for this peak a couple of times now. Shaz is looking for, I guess, something out this way. Maybe starting to read into this, but look who's around the corner. Mixwell, are you trying to find an angle on that? This is just pixels apart here. The spray, it's not beautiful, but it does find intended target. Shaz, though, this man's on a mission. Take down Heaven Control. Can't quite get it that time, though. Nuki, once again, steadfast. Holds Heaven. Look at that spike.
Yeah, my eyes go straight towards over here. Obviously, Sick does have that wall to get himself safe passage. And that's it, the Cosmic Divide going to come up as well. Just to make absolutely sure elsewhere, Nuki will find 10s, but again, it's just to allow Sick and Zoms access to B site here. Avova tucked up behind, and Colamenta in hell. Now a 2v4. Ultimate's available for G2 as well.
Yeah, plenty to work with here.
Placing sentry.
Now we wait patiently for that playback through. They're already quite close here, G2, just around this corner. Sick and Zoms. One back site, one towards main. The first challenge. It falls, no trade. Kellogg's is going to go down. There's nothing more. It's Nuki. Great round from Nuki there, and a couple of the others chiming in well, but I've got to say it, between, in my mind, Avova and Nuki right now, we have the pillars that are keeping G2 competitive in this.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Avova is synonymous with playing that anchor role, and time again, he's able to bail G2 out. But in this series, he's really going to be tested, right? And we've seen it a couple of times now. Sentinels, they're testing the water, they're dipping the toes elsewhere, and they have such a good read on when to hit these rotations, right? When to catch G2 out, create their own gap almost to the defense. And this is another perfect example. Yes, a head count maybe is a consideration to make here, but G2 remain composed on the retake, and they only leave one.
Why is he not swinging that guy behind the wall? It's so fucked. Empty. Alright, let's put out the top, guys. Yeah.
Crazy. Seems like that was a little bit of a weird round in their mind.
Yeah,
Huh.
odd.
Huh. Are they allowed to say that word and I'm not? Fine. Alright, fine. But yeah, I think something I was kind of considering coming into this as well was that there's a chance that G2 are able to, I guess, wake a bit of a beast, right? They are a sleeping giant to an extent. We don't know the depth of this roster. I think we saw the run coming into this, the qualification to this, and we all went, wow, okay, that's quite surprising. But they did suffer losses. It wasn't flawless. It wasn't perfect. They lost to, who was it? I think Supermassive Blaze, Gambit, Ascend, FPX, you know, a couple of big names. But they also were able to best a couple of other big names. Fnatic were also some of the, the victims that fell to the likes of G2 and many, many others. So again, it's very hard to categorize G2 right now. They're still in that rebuilding phase, but looking at Sentinels coming into this, gleaming record, just so, so good. You know, they're going back home from school real proud, putting it up on the fridge. So I'm still waiting with bated breath at G2. I'm just looking at them at this point.
I mean, I come out of that first series that we saw, and I wasn't absolutely sold. And
No.
that's the concern. Again, if you talk about just on paper, expectations coming into a series, what we want to see. And that map 2 still sticks out for me, right? We start talking about depth and being really tested or pushed to kind of explore these other possibilities in the playbook. Kellogg's on the stage just didn't convince me, and that's kind of a telling factor for a lot of these other things that we discussed. So this in particular, perfect example, right? Kellogg's is called upon to be self-sufficient, to be finding those open jewels. I'm concerned for the attack. What does that look like for G2? Where is Kellogg's going to find, the ability to be solo pushing and finding space versus a team like Sentinels?
No, and you're right, and they are seasoned with dealing with that sort of play, especially from anyone. I mean, the entire region is known for this aggressive play that can just open up off the back of incredible individual skill, be it coupled with that support from the rest of the teammates, of course. But again, you have some of the most headline superstars hailing from NA right now. I think we don't need to sugarcoat the pill. NA is leading.
Yeah.
Now they picked up the Reykjavik win, and rightly so, the way these boys performed. Truly impressive. Oh, no, don't agree? Fair enough. But
Be really upset with that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry I called you guys first. No, they can't hear us, I'm kidding. Relax. Before there's more Reddit threads, we don't need it. But as we stand, we're just getting the, hopefully, gear issues fixed out. Everyone comfortable. Don't want any excuses.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
G2's social media team probably really pushed for excuses at some point today, maybe? You think?
I would never say such things.
No?
They rented a damn plane. You think I'm saying that?
Do you think there's a follow-up banner for that plane?
Do you think they've already recorded it too? They've got like 3 other versions.
That'd
When
be
they win, if they lose. Can you imagine?
All bases covered.
This is our clown thing that was actually the Sentinels social media manager, whoever it is, they're pulling OT. I've appreciated the lead up to this, and be it forced or not, I think is something beyond the point, because if it gives us a close game with excitement, I'm all aboard it. And like NA and EU needed more fuel to the fire, right? Like the 2 regions have been insufferable at each other's throats the entire time after Reykjavik, and even leading in. It looks like we're ready to go. Coffee being consumed from the beautiful shop. Maybe get a Red Bull instead. Way better. But for now, we jump back through to this and have to see where we left off. The money has been humbled for Sentinels.
Sick with the Spectre here. Again, Sentinel's going to focus their efforts towards mid. And actually, nobody even hold this. Nookie going to be called upon here, but Sick actually finds the opener here. Response from G2's got to be fast. There's only 2 more players here to defend. Mixwell actually, listen, that orb onto Hell, I expect that was the intended. What's down available? That's it. Yeah, there's only 1 member towards B main here. The alarm bot's going to spot that out if Dapper decides to push on through. Sentinels now, they found a kill.
Yeah,
Trying to spread the foot. Look at Kellogg's though.
I'm waiting to see if Shazam can start exploiting any rotations as well. Just talk about the ult coming through there. That'll be Killjoy popping theirs down. Avova looking to maybe open up an avenue of keeping control if needed. Capitalize on this. Time bought. Res came in.
A lot invested into this round though, considering Tens has got the upgrade now. You got Nookie just with the showstopper, no main weapon, and he's going to get absolutely ripped apart there. Shazam finds the opener. Mixwell will trade it out. Sentinel look to pile on the pressure.
Yeah, they do. Mixwell isn't alone here. Cold Dementor apparently had his back. What is Sentinels doing? How are they converting some of these rounds potentially? There's 3 now left. Great work from Zombs. We didn't expect the follow-up from Avova. Now a 3v2. Up in the hands of Kellogg's and Avova with the rifle. But the site is completely under wraps by Sentinels. Post plant now, 2 rifles collected, put into the hands of TenZ. Dapper, Sick, all just fine. TenZ going to put himself as the tip of the spear to swing if needed. Kellogg starts to maybe have a little look around, start his foray into this. Avova just starting to lean through, and TenZ caught one. And now Kellogg's, run as much as you might. They're not going to let you leave. Sentinels! This is twice now. This is twice now this has happened on weaker buys that G2 have just been slowly suffocated.
And this is the first time they strung together a 2-round victory as well. Sick, just no respect to any of this utility here. And this is the problem. I think Nuki actually got his showstopper triggered there. So it was actually costed as well on top of the lockdown and the revive for G2 to try and swing that back in their favor. That is the biggest disaster you can look at. Yeah, Nuki, look at it. Ultima's gone.
Yeah, G2's mental is being tested here. Sentinels, there is never not a round that they're just not a danger, not a threat. They'll find something, they'll work for something, and this is that rude awakening. But it's still a decent half if G2 get maybe 5. I'd say it's manageable on 4, but it's tough. And for now, Mixwell gets that first touch of damage as we wait and see what happens here.
Feeling safe.
We'll try and actually get a ramp. Takes a lot of damage on the back of the snake bite and a bit of spam through that poison orb as well, but 3 members of G2 hit against Spike, just completely the other way. This is an attempt for Sentinels to pull rotations and it's working perfectly. Shazam swings out once again. Has to retreat though. Now it's just 1 man. It's Avova in position to try and hold down B. As soon as this hit doesn't come through, I want to see G2 moving, but look at them. They're stuck. They're all trying to they're trying to control A site when there's nothing there. It's the wall for Dapper that's keeping them.
All right, Avova, what have you got for us? You have every player coming your way. You are in danger, you are under threat, and you're dead. Shazam! He doesn't need to see you to find you. He puts him to bed. Kisses him goodnight and says, see you in the next half. But 3 now stand. Coldamenta, Nuki, Mixwell. Spike now planted. And they have the way to work back in. They have so little information on this side of the map as well, playing back in from that A side. Shazam happy to look towards heaven as well. Look for that drop down from rafters. Coldamenta is up there. It's going to be Sick. Gets the first optional follow-up. It's going to be TenZ supporting him. And now just old Nuki, and they know where he is, and they're going to start hunting him down. Nuki, though, denies for now. For time, High Pocket's starting to dwindle down. He's got 3 more to find. This feels almost impossible.
It is absolutely impossible here. Nuki has to find another one before the way in, but Zombs will stop that from happening. Sentinels will close out 8-4 on the half, and nothing short of clinical in my eyes. Again, those 2 thrifty rounds stick out in my mind where G2 looking a little rattled. Again, to throw so much in terms of investment back into that round and it go the way it did, that's a killer.
It is. It's going to be a bit of a mental block as well, I'm sure. You saw the timeout straight away after that too, so they're going to have to pull themselves back together after that one. Sentinels coming in and they are loud. They are incredibly loud. They are very much pumped up for this ready, and they know the rounds that they get in their heads, but I think we might be in for a treat in a second now. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Once we know Sean's in place, we're diving down to him, because you know what? Why wait? NA's biggest fanboy, he's by the wall. Let's head down to Sean to break down one of his favorite moments from this first half.
Thanks, Lauren. I feel really smug down here right now at this 8-4 score line, and Sentinels started off flying. Maybe G2 should have took that plane. Anyway, we have Dapper lining up some Viper utility to kick off this round. You can see right here he's going to launch his smoke, so let's go ahead and start the clip. We're going to just get a nice util lineup. And then we're going to hop into the minimap in a little bit. And this is a lurk smoke for that A ramp position. He also has the wall cutting through the A site. And I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about why that's important in a second. But what you're going to notice Sentinels does is they triple group inside of this Viper smoke. And then Dapper picks it up to drop it. They see the wall up at the top of the ramp. And let's pause here. So at this point, Sentinels is falling into a B-type strategy, right? Sentinels is a team that they don't have just one tactic on a round. They have layers, right? If the heaven hit doesn't work for X, Y, or Z reason, we're going to fall into this strat now. Okay, so let's look how they can react. So again, Dapper's wall cutting through the A site. Why is this important? It blocks the vision from the A player, as well as when Sentinels goes up this ramp, it blocks the vision from this Sage right here in the back. She no longer has the sight line towards the ramp, so Sentinels are trying to eliminate all the possibilities of the deep angles so that way they can clear up box, right corner, as well as, you know, the close vents angle. Once they realize that this Sage wall is up, everything changes. That changes the dynamic of the strat, and they're going to use the wall almost to confuse G2, right? It's not likely that a team would push through this Viper wall on an A hit. So now let's roll through a little bit, and I'll show you what you're going to see. You're going to see Shazam entering into this A site, into his own smoke. And this is a mechanic that's not very well known in the scene. It's the fact that Jet keeps vision throughout her dash. So he drops the smoke, dashes in, and if you look closely, he's hard clearing all of the left side of the site. So everyone's trailing him right now, and on their mini maps, the Raze shows up. He's giving the comm, and let's pause it one more time really quick. And you can see simultaneously while all this is going down, we have Zom smoking both screens and a tower. So Shazam dashing in, Ten's trading the kill. That's going to put him back on 150 health on a pistol round. And let's roll it through a little bit more here. So Shazam progresses up, and what I want to draw attention to now is the post-plant setup. Everything is so well thought out when you watch a Sentinels game. You have the spike going in the corner, you have Dapper holding below Hell right here, and his job is to hold the A ramp flank, which he has a wall conveniently there to help him. You have Shazam doubled up with Sick, holding the elbow position into screens, and what do you know? Actually, that smoke that Dapper picked up is now at screens. So everyone's utility serves a purpose, everything is used perfectly, and that, my friends, is why Sentinels locked in this split pick and is catching G2 off yet again. So back to you guys, Pansy and Hypoc. I hope you guys got something planned.
Well, we've got nothing planned. We're just hanging out, honestly. We're just here watching. However, I do hope G2's got something planned.
I hope so. I mean, we were talking about the innovation being tested for G2, and the perfect example from Sean there with the composition here. I don't know how much G2 are going to be able to achieve, right? A lot of this now relies on Kellogg's and Nuki. That goes without saying, but we're talking about finding opening jewels. Now, we look at the matchups, and again, Ten, Shazam, and arguably Sick in this scenario on the Sage. How successful are they going to be doing that? And how successful are they going to be across the entire half to not only build the comeback, but effectively attempt to win this?
We're going to find out right about now. 8-4, Sentinels very much in the lead, but now it's the turn of G2 to breathe the aggressors. And speaking of, Kellogg's first man forward, joined by Nuki, takes out Sick, and it's quick. He's going to keep on going forward, and Zom's back of sight.
Oh my
Somehow manhandles two. The third, not too far for him. But the sight just precariously in control. Kellogg's, it wasn't pretty, but he gets the job done. That's 3 for him this round, and now a 3v2. Dapper and Shazam. And Shaz has found a little bit of timing to this.
Got ahead of
Hold
Avova.
on. Shazam, if he can find this on his own, that spike plant now denied. Avova catches the rotation, and now the fight is going to be between Shazam and Avova. Shazam, you're a nasty, nasty player right now in the 1v1. Kellogg's has already found 3, and it's to save it. Shazam! Just breaking hearts.
My God. Shazam with the Red Bull clutch in the pistol round and has absolutely no business doing that. Avova drifts back, anticipating that flank, and for a moment, Nuki is left absolutely exposed on site as he tries to get that spike plant.
This timing, perfect.
Last player standing.
And I thought, well, Avova's got it. He's surely got the flank on the flank, but no. And then this fight, the tag, but Shaz is just that bit better. I think that was a let's go, baby.
It looked like it. I'm not a great lip reader.
No, but it's a classic. It's a classic. But what a way to kick it off. And yeah, it's the old Thanos thing of I just don't even know who you are. You're looking at these two. G2's making all these, you know, social posts, trying to pump it up. You need some results to have a rivalry. And right now at 9-4 after that pistol. Uphill time now. G2 just being put in the blender. Shaz wants to free farm. Get those knives coming out nice and early. And he's going to do it again. Flawless Prime Gaming. Sponsors love this team.
Definitely getting their quota from this matchup. I just, again, yeah, we're going to come in now. Obviously, a good opportunity for Sentinels to make use of carrying across all this weaponry from the previous, but G2 have to dig deep. The mental's being tested. Whether or not we've got anything from the playbook, we're going to see them be able to find success with. But now, again, Sentinels expecting them to lean away from A, right? With these first 2 rounds going the way they've gone. I think G2 now got to reconsider their approach. Actually, seeing now on the minimap, you can see Sick and Tens looking a little feisty in mid.
There you go.
Tens all the way to
walkabouts.
bottom mid already.
He might be going walkabouts. Tens unleashed. Vova seems cognizant that there's a chance that someone's had a bit of a walk down middle, and it's his job to try and keep control of that timing while the others explore those extremities. It's not an easy job. You can see Nookie every angle could contain that threat, but it's Zoms at the top by ramp, still with Spectres. This is the bonus. And it's already got a kill. That's lovely work from him. Couldn't convert on a second. That's a little bit out of reach, but already a trade effectively is not bad.
10 still posted, and Sentinel's actually able to lean away from this now. Dapper going to be called upon. I think maybe just spotting actually on that jump. He did actually, yeah. Kellogg's going to walk right through the snake by both of them, but Mixwell will close down the kill. They have control of B site now. Look how quickly the flank comes through though. Coldamenta still posted outside A main. No information here. He's effectively lost in this lurk right now. Sentinels could find a straight 3v3 if they're quick about this retake.
See it. Tens quickly on it. Gets the tag, not the frag. Sick though, follows up well. That's Avova now gone. 3v2. And now a double stack towards that CT side is going to make it tricky for Shaz to find a clean entry. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Mixwell, good catch on that. Sick has got himself an upgrade here. So that's one. And Kellogg's is now on red alert. A little worried, but Coldamenta's got his back. There it is, G2. Keeping in this one, 10-5.
3 kills for Sentinels though. Will keep the economy honest, even though they're able to turn around back in their favour. I don't think Kellogg's is onto that Blade Storm just yet. So can't even drop a weapon across really. Nookie on the Judge. A Spectre for Avova. Mixwell will be able to get the Vandal. Shazam Blade Storm already online with those first 2 rounds. Zoms as well with the Cosmic Divide available. But again, it's look at this complete denial here by Dapper's utility again. Poison Orb will go over main. The thing is now they can use Zom's utility effectively, reactively, right? As soon as G2 shows something, they have that audible possibility.
And this can only go on for so long. They don't have much to catch any flanks. They don't have a default. This has a time limit on it, and they're going to have to go soon enough. And it's going to be right about now. Kellogg's on in. Nookie to follow him. Mixwell not far behind. The site is going to be theirs. This is postured for a retake almost instantaneously, but Dapper down a little ahead of the spike plant, so it's not too bad. 6 aim is sharp today. Kellogg's feels the brunt of it as we already have Nookie going walkabouts, but the problem is you got Zoms ready and waiting. They're reading you like a book. They're about to close this chapter if you don't pick up the pace. Look at this. Sick just walks back in. This is my site. Get out. 11-5.
Absolutely clinical from Sentinels. They allow G2 to enter. They give all this space up because the protocols are in place. The contingency is there to make sure they never relinquish this site control. Nookie finds all this space, but he's got a Judge. If anything, he goes a little too deep. At the point where he's got control of that spawn elbow here on B, just sit there. It's actually crazy the Sentinels absolutely flawless right now in everything they're setting up to do.
It truly is a treat to watch. I don't care what region you're from, who you're a fan of. Sentinels looking in form. Looking like they're picking back up from Reykjavik, but still early doors. Best of 3 here, only the first map if you're just tuning in. This was Sentinel's choice, no surprise to the G2 fans. You know, this is not normally within the wheelhouse, and we are seeing obviously a weaker purchase. One rifle, the hero rifle on Coldamenta. Shazam. Oh God, they line up. Don't make him just ring the bell. That's 2 easy frags. Make it a 3rd. He's putting on a show. Make it so easy. He looks so comfortable. And the last 2, not really a threat right now.
Rookie's still bottom mid. Sheriff in hand. Paint's still available, but again, at this point, there's no real value in doing any damage to the economy of Sentinels. Spam comes through from Shazam. Coldamenta will find 1, but don't expect Sentinels now to be over-peaking on this. Oh, he's going to swap the barrel there. Yeah, another 3v.
Man.
The 4th for Shazam. Is he good for the ace? Little eco farm just to close things out.
There it is. Anything they can't do right now?
No. No, I don't think there is. I mean, Sean brought up a perfect way, and it's that word protocols, right? Whatever happens in these rounds, it's never looking like Sentinels aren't in control, right? They're able to peel back effectively. It's that 3 to 5 second window where they're able to just turn around and basically flip the round right back in their favor. That's on the back of, obviously, Sick falling in mid. There's no building pressure on the back of it.
Here.
Clean comms.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
They're just having fun. That's terrifying.
Go for a listening, maybe? Or
Just let them take this one, but it is 12 to 5 to G2. Let's get it, boys. Get ready for that next map otherwise. Icebox is on the horizon after this. That would be G2's pick. But right now, Sentinels have sent more than a message. They want to create that dynasty they were talking about. This would be a good first step. Clean start in the groups. Well, opening nade. 10's going to be suffering off the back, but doesn't really yield. Has to be forced to kneel by Coldamenta. And the space gets taken, or does it? Shazam waiting, always so patient. But the flank coming out from Kellogg's could be good, but the timing's even better for Shaz. There's the trade, though. Nookie's got him. Puts him back. Zom's back site now. He's got 4 players coming his way. 1 left, 1 right, 1 up top. They're just about everywhere, and he can't deal with all those angles. Too many to find as Dapper. Your last one, a little further out. You ever heard the story of the 1v5?
I don't think I want to. I've seen enough already.
You seen enough? All right. Well, Dapper gonna give it his best shot. No reason not to. Up through those vents, but he's being watched. Kellogg's eyes trained on it, and he's gonna at least get the reward from that. 12 to 6. It's gonna be a mountain to climb to come back into this one, though.
It is indeed, and the thing is, you look at that round and it's an anomaly, right? It's very rare that you're able to get into a position where you can overwhelm Sentinels, and that's what I feel happened there. This comes back to the same thing, right? You've got to become innovative in the ways that you can be able to achieve the same thing here. Kellogg's, a couple of nice kills there, but
We need
again,
consistency, man. We need it across the board.
Exactly. You need him to be doing that every single round. Every single round.
Yo, nice shot, bro. Yo, nice shot. Nice shot, bro.
Cool. Just completely unfazed.
Oh, it just doesn't make you feel good, and that star is going to be making Shaz smile like the Cheshire Cat. Already 2 big stars. Zom's like, well, look, we'll let you have a nice couple of rounds. James feeling good. We're going to shut it down. Sentinels just flexing, flawlessly closing out in that final round.
I mean, you look at that last round and it's just like G2 are like, okay, guys, let's